Picture this scene. You're at the jam session and you're ready to go up to play. You've been practicing all week and now you're ready to go up to show everybody what you're made of. But then, when it's your turn to solo, everything just feels off. Like I'm talking, the musicians feel off, you feel off, your guitar feels off, the amp feels off, the bass player feels off, everything just feels off. Well, here's the first realization of the day. The reason your guitar playing feels boring is because you're not practicing for the purpose of playing with other musicians in a real life situation. I want to share with you one of the game-changing concepts that I use that literally made me feel so much better at guitar. I went from feeling okay at guitar to feeling much better through just applying this one concept. The concept is called minor conversion, and it almost felt like I cracked the code to play like the guitar players on the recordings. But we're not stopping there. So one thing that separates good jazz musicians from boring jazz musicians is the good jazz musicians actually listen a lot to jazz. This might feel like a no-brainer, but in reality, if you're not listening to jazz, like actually listening, putting time from your day to listen to the music, if you're not doing that, then you won't get out of the rut of feeling like you sound boring. And I will also show you how I transcribe something that I like and what questions I ask to literally internalize it and make it into my own. And I've done that through transcribing a phrase from Hank Mobley's Remember. And by the way, I have an announcement to make. On the 29th of November, I will release the full version of Improvisation Made Simple. And it will be done with a professional camera team, and it will have a lot more material than what it has right now. So if you get it right now, you will get access to module 1 and 2 that I will refilm later. But you get access to it right now, so you have some stuff to practice. And then on the 29th of November, when that hits, the price will go up and you'll be happy you invested in it, because when it goes up, it goes up. Let's start with the concept that it literally was life-changing for me, called minor conversion. And what minor conversion is you take a chord, let's say you take an E flat chord, you think minor over E flat. So let's say it's an E flat dominant 7. And what I would do is I would think B flat minor over it. You're not thinking E flat mixolydian. You're actually thinking B flat Dorian, or you can think B flat melodic. So it's like it makes your brain think a different scale of what is implied. So instead of thinking E flat mixolydian, you go to minor scales. So that makes you hit those chord tones automatically. When I became a nerd about minor conversion, that opened up my fretboard so much that it's not even funny. My playing went from feeling like newbie and like beginnery to feeling much more sophisticated and much more like I'm playing phrases and melodic statements. I really recommend you getting into what that is. So you can take an E flat, think B flat minor Dorian, so you can do that in multiple keys. A D7 would be an A minor. So you can play it over major chords, you can play it over major 7 sharp 11 chords, you can play it over dominant 7 sharp 11 chords. Just take a D7 sharp 11. The sharp 11 is literally the major 7 in A minor, which makes it so easy. If you just play an A melodic minor, then you get that sharp 11, because the major 7 of the A is the sharp 11. And literally the whole thing is they are related. Okay, people ask, but why does it work? So why the concept of minor conversion even works is because all chords are family in one way or another. And how I can explain this is if you look at an A flat minor 6 chord, if you go down a minor third from the A flat, you get an F. And if you play an F minor 7 flat 5, all right, so it's an A flat minor with the 6th and the bass. That's what an F minor 7 flat 5 is. So that's literally what minor conversion makes you think. You think other stuff. This is something that I've literally heard from teachers too, like teachers that are out there gigging. People in New York do this all the time. Even Thelonious Monk, you hear quotes from him talking about using minor conversion as like using the minor 6, not the minor 7 flat 5. So if you have a F minor 7 flat 5, you think A flat minor 6. And it's so thankful to do on guitar. When you start learning minor phrases and see how they are laid out on guitar For some reason, I don't know why, it's just nature intended it to be like this. It just feels better. It makes you feel more melodic. And this is the case for me. I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, but literally this is what made me feel much better at guitar. It made me feel more free on the guitar. It made me feel like I can play what I hear in my head on the guitar much better and easier. And when you start experimenting with this concept, I'm convinced it will change your life like it did for me. And as I said, if you want to get deep into improvisation, you want to learn minor conversion in extreme detail, I recommend you getting Improvisation Made Simple in the description below. Remember when I talked about listening to jazz? So it was a phrase by Hank Mobley over remember. It sounds like this. So what I love about this phrase is where he lands on the beat. I love how he targets the chord tones. I love the fact that he uses a bluesy phrase in the beginning. So these are all questions that I keep asking myself when I transcribe, and that makes it so much more fun too. So let's break it down. What is it he actually does? So it starts with this bluesy phrase that goes like dun 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 dun, which you've heard in a lot of songs like Tenor Madness, you've heard that. And what he does later is he does this arpeggio that's from the third of the minor. Okay, so he does a D flat major 7 arpeggio with the triplets. Literally listen to where he lands on the beat. That is like 80% of why it sounds good, is where he lands on the beat. The way he did that phrase really spoke to me, and that is why I went after it. Okay, that made my brain go, okay, you should transcribe this because you want this in your playing. And that is basically the process. Now, what was it that I was doing here? Well, I was talking about a phrase that I really loved, and I was asking questions. Why did I like it? What is it that I really love about the phrase? So when I heard this phrase, it made me motivated to get better. And instead of just learning it and not thinking about it more, I was asking the questions, why did I like it? What is it with this phrase that I really like? Because then I can just apply it to other things. And I know that, okay, I really love how he targets that chord tone. So I will take that with me to the next solo that I'm learning. So what is it I'm trying to say here? Find what you like, ask why you're liking it, play it all over the neck. The process of learning and internalizing a phrase goes like this. I start with finding the phrase I really like. I listen to it, and I listen to it a lot. You already like the phrase, so you might as well listen to it a lot. After that, you just ask yourself what it is you're liking about that phrase. So it can be something that is abstract, or it can be not abstract. It can be whatever. Just ask yourself these questions. Get deep into why you're liking certain stuff. So in my case, I really love the way that Hank Mobley uses chord tones. So I will take that with me and I will apply that to future situations where I'm facing the same kind of phrase or facing a 2-5-1. I kind of know that I can pick this up from my library from stuff that I really like to do. So I will practice that phrase then, explore ways to hit the same chord tones but maybe end it in a different way. And what that does is it takes me closer to the sound that is me. That is what I want for you too. The more you do that, you come closer to the sound that is you. Your true expression comes from when you're asking the questions of what you like, because then you can go after that. You get clues when you listen to music. And that is what I want to tell you. The more you do this, I promise you stuff will happen in your playing. You will be less boring because you will feel less boring. And when you feel less boring, you will feel authentic. And that is the best thing to feel when you're playing. To feel that what you're saying is actually part of you, the part of your expression. And to reach that, you just gotta ask the questions. You gotta go after the music that is already out there. And I will be here along the way teaching you what I know to get you closer to your authentic way of playing. So in summary, if you wanna be less boring when you play, I would recommend start listening to the music you love and start asking questions to why you love it, transcribe it, and keep asking those questions because that will help you in your process. You're a musician in a process, right? So that will really help you. And also a concept that really helped me, is minor conversion. You can get linear expressions by Pat Martino. It really helped me. It made me literally, it was life-changing for me. And I teach all of that in my course, Improvisation Made Simple. You can get it right now for a cheaper price in the description below. Just a side note, it's not about copying someone's playing. It's about going after what you like. Because if you do that, you will find your own unique voice in this sphere of musical notes. That's the most rewarding thing you can do when playing jazz. And I'm just speaking from my own experience. And I feel like, how can it not be for everybody to have a unique voice, to have something that is like unique to them? It's about being inspired by the people around you. It's about being inspired about the people that already recorded this music, and just do your own thing. Go after what you like. Mix in the stuff that defines you. Maybe you come from a different background. Mixing that in with the jazz you love. That is what makes music so great. When you come with your own experiences and you create something from what is you. Thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Click on this video if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself.